So, Gavan, will you take us through what Michael Stone had to say in this statement and how all of this changes this story now?
The reason why all of this is significant, Colette, is partly because Paschal Donohoe had told the Dáil last week, he had told press conferences and he had effectively told the public that there was nothing about his 2020 election campaign which hadn't been allowed for or for which there hadn't been any kind of undisclosed expenses towards. And part of what was so damaging about the admission last Friday, therefore, was that in fact, despite all of those assurances, he had then discovered that there had been some irregularity or something undisclosed about his 2020 election campaign. Now, Paschal Donohoe did make a Dáil statement, as you just mentioned, last Wednesday, in which he insisted that there had been no involvement from Michael Stone in his 2020 general election campaign. In his statement today, Michael Stone says that was information that he gave Paschal Donohoe, that he and Paschal Donohoe had spoken. Paschal Donohoe had asked if Michael Stone had had anything to do with the 2020 campaign, and Michael Stone said that his best recollection was that he had nothing to do with that, but that is corrected by the statement that he's issued today. Michael Stone says that when he heard later that day, that's last Wednesday, that the 2020 election had been raised in the Dáil, he had the matter rechecked and he discovered that his recollection was wrong and that in fact similar assistance had been given with postering in the 2020 election. The statement goes on to say that in 2020 he paid personally for 6 people working in 3 pairs to help with the postering. That assistance was provided on 5 dates across the campaign before and after polling day at a cost of €972. He also says that he arranged to supply some of those individuals with vans for the period they were working, which he now knows had a commercial value of €434.20. That, as you say, means overall donations in the line of around €1,400. That is more donated to the 2020 campaign that had previously been disclosed for 2016. And what it's likely to mean is that when Paschal Donohoe takes to his feet in the Dáil this afternoon, you'll see the government once again digging in, and the opposition likewise.
What it boils down to, in my view, though, is whether you believe Paschal Donohoe or not. I believe him. It's clear what happened here. A supporter of his offered to put up some posters and paid other people to do it. Mr. Donohoe was unaware of that. His agents were unaware of that. As they became aware of it, they've done everything they can to be transparent.
Remember, Minister Donohoe was Director of Elections for the Fine Gael party back in 2020. Was this common practice in Fine Gael, that the kind of dig-outs that the Minister received from a friend of the constituency were a common occurrence across the Fine Gael party? And I don't think this is the end of it for the Fine Gael party, quite frankly. They need to front up, they need to be clear. Is this common practice? Is this routine in your party?
Now, this statement may be seen as taking some of the heat off Paschal Donohoe, because it says that if there was an error in what the public and the Dáil were told last week, that it wasn't Paschal Donohoe's fault, that this was the fault of Michael Stone, who didn't remember making the donation to his campaign. But there may also be other questions that arise from this. Bear in mind, some of the donations in 2016 were considered corporate donations, including the use of a company van. But if the donation of a van this time around was also a corporate donation, then it simply goes far too far beyond what is legally permissible. Companies can only donate €200 of resources to candidates. This is a van worth over €400. So if it was a corporate donation the first time around, is it a personal donation now? And Paschal Donohoe could find himself under pressure to explain why different allocations are being used to try and explain the situation in each time.